Good. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 15th session of Revolution Live.
Hi, everyone.
So today Elik is again here with me in Haifa. And we're waiting for people to join. I would just say very generally, oh, hello. Someone already joined. Hi.
Hey.
And I will just say very generally that we're not sure what we want to talk about. Usually when we come up, there's like a specific subject that we want to talk about, but I don't know, in the last couple of weeks, things have been very confusing and demoralizing, and it's really hard to have like energy to do like specific constructive things. And so we came up and we said we're going to talk about what's going on in like a very general way. So Elik, you want to say some stuff about what we had planned?
Yeah, I think like we wanted to talk about the renewal of the genocide and why. I don't know. I feel very devastated. We said it last time also, and again, these thoughts about. I talk about it too much, but sometimes I feel like I cannot stay here just by being here. I'm collaborating, and we keep on and on discussing this. And I think many people with our position who live here have the same feeling. And I don't know if it's like a selfish thing that I just don't want to run away from this, or it is a real moral position saying, okay, at least I'm not living here and taking part of the normalizing it.
Yes.
And I was checking a job in a school, democratic school, and the kids were like super cute. And it seemed like it could be a perfect job for me, like, a musician like me who teach in a like kind of open vibe. We just jammed and the kids really liked me and it was nice.
It would have been perfect 3 years ago.
Yeah, and then I'm like, fuck, they're either going to go to the army. Will they find out my Instagram page? What would I tell them? Will their parents find out?
Yes.
Do I want to... And do I want to teach kids in? And I suddenly thought it's not their fault, but maybe if I just teach your music kids, I'm taking part in this project, of like settling in this land, of doing it without any political awareness. Maybe it's connected to the other thing that we wanted to talk, like the lack of political awareness is something that is, without it, this whole thing wouldn't work. Like these kids don't know that they're actually part of a settlers project who never stopped since this state was established. Like people don't know this. I didn't know this. And then you think like, we're just living our life. You have this mythological story of we are the Jews and we have to protect ourselves, and that's how it is. And then when the veil falls, it's like, okay, so it's an ongoing settling project that needs people to continue to participate in it. And this is what's going on here. What the fuck do I do? Do I fight it? Or just I need to go? And I don't have quite answers for it. And you came to my place on Monday when I was low energy, and I was like, because this question and this constant thinking about it doesn't help. I just drown in like guilt, and and it doesn't work.
Yes. There's no answer for it.
Yeah.
There's no. This is the one of the ways that I answer such questions to myself is that I say, this is the reason that I found my way to anarchism, to objecting to all these oppressive systems, because these oppressive systems, they you are born into this. You are born into a colony or a cult, or into a world where just taking care of your basic necessities means that you have to participate in this oppressive system. And maybe there is a way out there to not participate in the oppressive system, but it's really hard to find it, and I certainly haven't found it. And maybe there's a way to like remove yourself from the oppressive systems. If we remove ourselves from the colony called Israel, we are still in some place that is, under capitalism, under patriarchy, under human supremacy. We're still all human colonialists. All of this system.
But isn't this similar to someone who tells you why to go vegan because you're still participating in other immoral stuff in your isn't that the same family of argument?
The thing is not the thing that I'm saying, but why I'm saying it. Okay? I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it. I'm just saying that there is this fact that no matter where you are inside human society, you are part of this system that is hierarchical, that is oppressive. It's a fact that there is no ethical consumption under capitalism. It's just a fact. The question is where you take it. I think that the correct direction to take it to is, okay, so we need to dismantle capitalism. But most people say there is no ethical consumption under capitalism, to say, okay, so I will just do what the fuck I want, and I will not feel bad about it at all, and I will not, I will just do whatever I want. Okay, but okay, so I'm saying no matter where you are still participating in this system, and also but you can say, okay, so I will find a separate group where I will go live in an ecological commune, okay, with pacifist vegans, okay. I will go and do that, who are about love, and they're all free love and communal work, and we grow our own food, and we build our own, and this sounds lovely, okay, and it might be a solution in some sense, but there is an element of escapism in that as well.
Yeah.
And this, I think there is an element of escapism in saying I will just leave Israel, right? There is an element of escapism in this. So my point is not to say, oh, shut up. Yeah. My point is to say that the discussion is more complex than that. This is why I think that I'm not bringing the same energy as the people that you described that I don't like. Okay, but maybe I am, and I need to look at myself. Okay,
I think it's different approaches to morality. Is one is saying I'm actively try to change stuff, or I start from not participating in something that is obvious crime, and I think they're both valid approaches, but it's not that any moment in time you can pick one of those. Like, for example, I don't know, with veganism, okay, you don't participate in it, that's it, it's done. Maybe there's more stuff you can do.
It's not true, because I feel like I'm still, even though I don't actively pay money directly to the industry that is enslaving, and causing a Holocaust to hundreds of billions of animals throughout the planet all the time, still, I'm part of human society. And when I pay taxes to the state of Israel, it doesn't just go to the genocide, which is bad enough, but it also goes to this system is entangled in a way that cannot be disentangled from the Holocaust industries. If I pay taxes, some of the money goes to the slave owners, that have cows and chickens and sheep as slaves. It's just true. It's just a true statement. And if I live in a house, I am now surrounded by walls. Okay, maybe I can tell the audience something that is happening in Haifa. There are wild boars in Haifa, a lot of them. Okay, and the mayor of Haifa, Yona Yahav, who is also a Zionist, and he speaks about Palestinians in a similar way that he speaks about the wild boars. This has been my experience, because I heard quotes that he had about both subjects. And it's interesting that it's similar. I think there is something deeper here. And he started a campaign a couple of years ago to get rid of the wild boars, because they are a pest, they are a menace, they bother people. And there's stories about how wild boars attacked a baby trolley and sent the baby to the hospital, which is, I could find no evidence for this when I tried to look for it. And that also seems similar to me to the kind of stories that Zionist colonialists tell about Palestinian indigenous population. And the same thing happens here. Human colonialists tell all kinds of stories about how violent and dangerous the indigenous non-human animal population is. So what he did was he started paying money to people. He first of all, he made it completely legal to just shoot wild boars in the street whenever you see them in the street. And he even offered payment to people who kill wild boars in the street. And this is to thin their population and solve the problem. And a final solution to the wild boar problem, right? And when me and my girlfriend moved to this house, we saw wild boars around us at night. They come at night because they are scared of humans, and rightfully so. So they come at night and they find like garbage and they eat it, and they find food in the garbage. Okay. Lately, we haven't been seeing the wild boars. I don't know what happened to them. But I know that just me living in this house is me participating not just in Zionist colonialism that drove out the indigenous Palestinian population, but also in human colonialism that drove out, I don't know who, because their stories are the wild boars managed to somehow stay here and claim back some of their land, and they were driven out with deadly force. Who knows what animal we are on the verge of nature. We are like here 100 meters in this direction there is a valley, and this is a reservation. Okay, again, reservation. Exactly like the kind of terms that the U.S. colonialists use, and Canadian colonialists, and I don't know, Australian colonialists use to refer
some
to
part
areas
that we don't take over.
Yes, we don't take over this part. And I don't know, it's all connected. It feels to me that as long as something deep does not change, we will participate in systems of supremacy and oppression just by default, just by living. And I honestly don't know what to do about it. Okay, I honestly don't know what to do about it. When people tell me I don't know what to do, and I see that they are honest and they don't know what to do, then okay. And now the option is to talk about what to do. Okay, at least we're being honest. At least we're having this discussion.
Yeah, but at least with the situation in Palestine, we have some idea of direction how to improve the situation. Yes. It's not solving it, but like the One Democratic State initiative and equality. And,
yes.
Like it's a direction that we know where we wanna go.
Yes, but you see, it's like we don't really support the one-state solution, right? When
it's an improvement.
Our podcast is called One-State Solution, but it's a kind of joke, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't really, because as anarchists, we support the zero-state solution. So we're saying inside this system, this oppressive system, there is this tool called the state, and it's better to have one state between the river and the sea than to have this colony that we have right now. It's an improvement, but it's not a deep solution of the problems, and we know this, and we acknowledge this, and we want to take a step so that we can take more steps. And I think if you want to compare it to veganism, it's the same thing. To me, veganism is one step. Okay, it's one step that I want to take, but I think after the entire world is vegan, after all humans are vegan, I think we would have to take much more, many more steps, which are more radical, to really reconnect with the earth and not be a colony, okay? And very similar things that we say about the disconnection that people who live in the colony called Israel, that was built on the land of Palestine, experience this disconnection from the land, from reality, from their own, body and mind and soul. I think they are true for all humans, because all of humanity is some big colony on earth that was constructed on the land of earth. And I think that the disconnection that we all feel, everyone in this society feel, it stems greatly from this. And I think until we don't take radical steps to reconnect with nature and with the earth and not be a colony on earth, we will never feel good.
It's interesting, this expansion of discourse about colonialism to like the way humanity colonized the earth. I didn't think about it this way, but in a way it's very, it relates. Maybe we need to do a second episode about colonialism in a wider sense that it's being spoken about, because usually you don't extract it. It's something that humans do to each other, powerful states doing to, less powerful or or people without states. Like that's, and it's something that's related to that. But
ironically, this thought started when I read Yuval Noah Harari's book, because in the beginning of this book, *Sapiens*, he talks about how all of the large species of animals were basically annihilated by humans. Humans just hunted large animals and took over their habitats, and the more humans expanded and became more powerful and controlled more areas, they killed more and more and more big creatures. And now the only large creatures that exist are whales in the oceans, because this is the part that humanity has not been able to take over yet. And it's and it's already happening, that whales are being exterminated, and it's just a question of time when humanity takes over the oceans as well and destructs all life in the oceans as well. And now there's life like in the depths of the ocean, right? There's variety of life that we don't know about because we don't have access to there. But at some point we will develop the technology to control that as well, and we will exterminate life there as well. This is, and I think that the moment that you think about the entire planet as one big society, and you don't think of us and them, us humans, why? There's like the tree of life, and the tree of life, all life is connected. There's no inherent objective reason to separate humans from other forms of life. And once you think about all of life as one big society, then it's in some sense inevitable to think about to expand the idea of colonialism, not just between groups of people, but between people and other animals as well.
I feel like that this issue, I thought about it today. We read this post about maybe we can take it to what we were talking about today.
Yes.
Because we read there was demonstrations. There was a lot of people talking about demonstrations in Gaza against Hamas, and there was a footage of people who demonstrated, and they said like salam, peace, and like it was shared by Ahmad Fuad El Khatib.
Yes, who Baden Panada exposed as a shill of the Israeli regime.
Yeah, and how he get paid by the U.S. government, or I don't know, whatever. Yeah, but he's like he's the Palestinian that the Israeli liberals would want all of the Palestinians to be like.
Yes.
The right wing wouldn't want him because they like the boogeyman Palestinian who give excuse to more expansion.
Yes.
And liberals like the one that give, look, we can have a peace with the Palestinians that is actually other words for subjugation.
Yes, exactly.
And obviously after what so there was demonstration in Gaza against Hamas. I don't know. I think it's real. I don't think it's made up. I think it's a real thing. But
yes, we need to have discussions in like several levels, and one of the levels that we want to have a discussion is how real is the report of these demonstrations, how real are these demonstrations, these protests. But let's continue continue to your point, and then we will come back to it.
And I saw many comments of like Israelis to that demonstrations, like, wow, it made me feel so emotional. They want peace. And I think people, because I used to be like this as well, I would say,
me
like,
too.
look, they want peace. And it's a genuine, they're not a politician. They're genuine Israelis who think like, look, they want peace. I want peace. That's a great thing. And part of it is because they don't understand the dynamics of colonialism. Like if they would think about what peace means, and also the Palestinians who are broken and devastated. Of course, some of them will just say, give us something, just leave us alone, but just give us something.
Yeah, this small strip of land, we will make do with it. Just give us this small strip of land, give us the West Bank or whatever is left of it, and we will find a way to make do with it.
Yeah, because what does it mean? What does peace mean? And people know what it means: giving up right of return. Right. When the word peace, salam, is meant in that context of Israel, Palestine, it means giving up right of return, and the Palestinians are giving up the idea of dismantling the apartheid state of Israel and bringing full decolonization and democracy and all of that. They give it up completely. And they are being satisfied with some leftovers that we give them, with a state that will continue to have a colonization relationship with Israel, because still it will be way stronger state.
Yeah, it's not like the Israelis, even the liberal Zionists who support the two-state solution, it's not like they will agree to the Palestinian state having an army, right?
Never,
ever. Okay.
No, and the economy will continue to be completely dependent. And they will still want to have all the power the moment they want to shut down the economy, to shut down the...
Yes, exactly.
So it's another form of subjugation that is better than genocide. And of course, when you're being genocided for a year and a half, some people will say, we prefer that. And I understand them. You cannot... I have no complaints. And then you have these demonstrations, and some Israelis says like, look, they want peace. That's right. And I saw even some Israelis write, we should have not killed them. Look, there are some people who want peace. As if like saying we want peace is some kind of, because of that now it's not okay. Like if none of them would want peace, it would be okay to kill
peace again,
to kill children.
This term peace, it's not peace. It's peace. It's like a sticker. Okay, it's like a slogan that they use to mean something, and we have to understand what they mean when they say it.
I don't object peace, the general world peace. Peace is a good thing. It means non-violence.
But it has been appropriated by the system and defined in a very specific way by the system that I think it is not, it's arguably the opposite of peace, the way that they use peace.
Yeah. So, and I think it's very sad, because sometimes I feel would after such, because so why did I bring it in the context of colonialism? When I understood the dynamics of colonialism, I understood like there is no peace in the context of colonialism. There's only ending the colonization project.
Yes.
And it can be done in more peaceful ways and in less peaceful ways. It can be done by violent revolution, which I hope there will be other way around to decolonize Israel without like, that it will be just by... because I say, I don't know for how long, but the way I think about it, if just Zionism continues and there is no process of like external pressure that will allow Israel to decolonize in more peaceful way, let's say.
Yes, this is what the BDS is offering, for example.
Yeah, like I think the BDS is the best thing. If Israelis were rational, they're like, that's the best thing that could save us.
Yes.
But they're not there.
Yes.
And then it leaves only place to like violent and armed struggle who can succeed at some point, not at this point in time, but at some point.
Who knows?
Who knows? Like just like, you know, the empire can
like
fall.
For example, the indigenous population in Turtle Island, in the place now called America, they failed. They used force, and they failed. And now there's only very few of them, and they are all being subjugated.
But you know, if you talk a bit to indigenous people in America, they're for them the struggle continues.
Of course.
Like they didn't give, like, I don't know what does it mean, like, but we need to be careful with saying like it's done. You know,
I'm not saying it's done. I'm saying look at the situation.
Yeah.
It's just let's just admit that the situation, their situation is worse than the situation of the Palestinians, in the sense that they lost way more of what they had. They've already been genocided almost completely. The thing that you are describing, that the struggle continues, is this word almost. This is the only thing that is keeping the flame alive, right?
But like, let's say if I was some kind of, let's say, play devil advocate and be like a liberal Zionist or a Palestinian who says like, halas, I want the leftovers. I am done. They're crushed us. Give us something and leave us alone. And okay, it's not full liberation like we were always promised, but there's no way to get full liberation or one democratic state with right of return. This is too much. Just give us something. It isn't, because what the left and also people like Ahmad Fouad al-Khatib, I guess, if he would be here, he would say, look, as Palestinians, we always struggled, we always wanted full liberation, and we're just being crushed again and again and again. Let us have something. That's what, but yeah, I don't know.
So I need, let me answer the devil's advocate.
Okay.
So one thing that, the first thing that I want to say is, this is understandable, completely understandable. It's like, I will not blame anyone who is under severe oppression if they want their oppression to be slightly less severe. This is the kind of thing that we also said both in live sessions and also in the episode that we recorded about normalization, and that will be up today, where we went deep into the subject of normalization, about the residents of Masafar Yatta. Okay, they want a little bit of relief. They want their situation to become a little bit better. No one can blame them for it. If we have criticism for what happened in the situation, the criticism is not on the victims of the oppression. It's not about that. It's about the system that is putting the victims of its oppression in such situations that they have to, to give up the things, their own struggle, for just a little bit of relief or just a little bit of improvement in their situation. No one can blame them for this. And if there are Palestinians living in Gaza or living in the West Bank who say, yeah, we're done with this. We're done with this. We just want whatever we have and we'll make do, then I cannot blame them at all. What I can tell them is that I think, and this is, it's also not my place to say, I am not the one who is the direct victim of this oppression. So it's far from my place to say what they should or should not want, but I also have thoughts and opinions, and I also analyze reality in a certain way, and I think that I can explain why I see reality in this way, which we do in our podcasts and sessions, and we can say, you are being naive here. You will not get what you think that you will get. You are, as you know, the force that is oppressing you is not a force that wants your benefit. They do not really want anything that is good for you. This is straight up manipulation. This offer of two-state solution is not real. This is something that Muhammad, that we talked with, he said in our conversations. He said the two-state solution, what he wants to call the two-state suggestion, because it's not a real solution to anything, in his opinion. He says this is a form of manipulation. This is a tactic of manipulation, and this can, I think, once you look at it. Once you look at reality and what happened, it's very obvious that it's a tactic of manipulation.
Happened. That's what happened in Oslo, right?
Yes, exactly.
It's not that we're that they did, like, we already have an experience.
Yeah, it's not speculation.
Yeah,
it's not speculation.
It's
what
history.
We're saying, it's just like looking at reality, and it might be very depressing to admit or to acknowledge this situation, but if it's the reality, then it's the reality. And if you want to have an effective struggle against oppression, then you must acknowledge reality for what it is. And if you make this mistake of saying, yes, okay, we want the two states, and you allow the system that is oppressing you to use these kinds of manipulation tactics, and you succumb to them, then you will lose. And this, I don't know if I sound harsh when I say this, but I think that we need to acknowledge this. That succumbing to this is a mistake. It's just a mistake on a strategic, tactical, and also, I think, moral and principle levels, in all the levels.
Yeah.
And this brings me to the point that I started maybe 20 minutes ago, and we were going, that this is why we define ourselves as anarchists, because we believe that as long as we don't dismantle completely these systems of oppression, we will always find ourselves in these situations where we are faced with dilemmas where there is no good answer. Should we stay in the land that we were born in, that we realized is called Palestine, and surrounded by cult members, that the cult that we are trying to escape, or should we go somewhere else? There is no good answer here. Should we resist the system completely and keep principled, or should we aspire to tactical, small tactical victories? There is no good answer here. And this is why I think we need to acknowledge that the system is putting us in these situations all the time, where there is no good answer. And I think if there's anything that I think would actually be effective, is to expose this all the time. The more people understand this, and the more people expose this, so they help more people understand this, the more we understand this collectively, the better off we are. I think that one of the main reasons that these systems of oppression and control maintain themselves is that everyone is ignorant about the way that these systems work. This is one of the main tools of that these systems use, is to keep us all ignorant and stupid. And we need to stop being ignorant and stupid. We need to start becoming more and more and more aware of the ways that the systems are oppressing us.
You want a bit to read the comments on this post, or
so maybe
you want to give it as a I don't know, okay, we don't say specific names.
The way that we kind of approach this, but maybe we need to have just have the discussion, the factual discussion first. I personally tried to figure out what these protests in Gaza were about, how many people participated, what kind of political factions they came from, what were their demands, what were their messages, and I only found reports in Israeli and or Western media, and only in places that I suspect highly, that I don't trust their, I don't trust that they will report faithfully about what happened. Okay? I tried to look up reports of these protests in other media sources, and I failed. Okay, if anyone, let's just say this: if anyone in our audience knows reliable information about these protests that happened in Gaza, it was yesterday or the day before, right? In the last couple of days.
Yeah, protests against Hamas.
Yes, they were calling for peace and they called against Hamas. I do not know this for a fact. I do not have the context. I do not feel like I understand what happened there.
Yeah.
And I know that the system, that the media outlets controlled by Israel, by Western countries, by the empire, distort the truth on a regular basis. I have enough experience in this, so I don't trust them. And this is one of those places where I feel like weird. I don't know what happened there. So we can only comment about what we know. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I saw that on a Telegram channel. Hold on. There may well be people that have nowhere else to go. If that existential issue is not solved, you will have illogical people. If you have no sympathy for human pain, the name of human you cannot retain. I'm not sure what the point is. Plot of Zionists, I guess. I don't know. This is the thing. We don't know. If anyone has reliable information, please send it to us. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I said that the reason you use collective punishment because it also works. Like,
yes.
So to me, it makes sense that it's happened, and I don't know. Like,
let's just say what the possibilities are. Okay,
yeah.
Let's just go over the possibilities. One possibility, the most cynical possibility, is that these protests were actively organized by the Israeli military controlling the Gaza Strip. That they found people who were, convenient to manipulate, and they manipulated them, or they outright paid them, or they promised them, some benefits to do this thing, and this was all staged and orchestrated by the Israeli regime. This is a possibility.
I don't think so, but let's say.
I don't know. I genuinely and honestly don't know for a fact that this is not what happened. Okay? It might have been what happened. You think that it's improbable?
I don't know, probably it just doesn't feel to me that this is the thing. Like, and I think it just makes sense to me that they will be like, we talked to Muhammad and he also said there are people who support Hamas, but there are people who are very angry at Hamas and feel that it betrayed them and made them and didn't do the job of like protecting them from Israel, and that they've been totalitarian, whatever. Like, I don't see why I need to, like, I feel there is this sense that, of course, there's this cynical game that Israel plays to try to make people go against the resistance. I understand that this is part of the Zionist game, but it doesn't mean that people don't have like genuine feeling, and I don't feel I know enough about what's going on in Gaza to tell them, no, you shouldn't resist Hamas. It's like,
I didn't say this.
No, you didn't say
I just said I don't know on a factual level what happened. That's all I said. Yeah. And you don't either.
Right.
And none of our viewers knows, as far as I know.
Right.
If someone knows,
we don't
if someone has credible reports of what happened there, I'm sorry, but I cannot say that I know what happened when all I read was reports of Western media about it. It's not credible enough.
Yeah.
But we can guesstimate, okay? And I think that the most probable possibility is that this was something that was organized by actual Palestinians on the ground in Gaza that believed this. And then, the Western media, they really like it, okay? Yeah. So they were like, okay, wonderful. And now we will spread this information all around the world, okay? Yeah. Because this is something that that works well with their narrative.
And it works, yeah, and it looks like, sure, what we did worked. The people turn against, because what's the rationale for this violence? What it's called, like the Dachia doctrine that Israel started in, that you cannot beat the resistance by actually confronting them. So you put so much harm on the populations that they turn on their government, and by and large it doesn't work. But they're looking for the places that they can show the pockets where it does work, and I guess it works at some level. That's like what I thought.
And then they spring into action and they go, okay, wonderful. Let's use this pocket. We don't know how many people it was. We don't know how prevalent this position is. We don't know what these protests represented. But the Western media will take it and without any real context will report it, and it works. And now we want to show you the other side of it, how it works. And we want to read, so the way we approached this was we kind of looked for reactions from liberal Zionists, okay?
Yeah.
I want to, so we might want to read to you some Facebook posts by, we won't say the names of the people involved, but there is one post that I want to read to you, and I will say the name of the person involved, and the name is Alon Green of Standing Together, okay? The guy who is the head, the Jewish head of Standing Together. And I want to read to you what he wrote, okay, after these protests. And I am not going to hide my goal here. One of my goals is that our viewers and as many people as possible understand that Alon Green is not a real ally of the Palestinian cause, that he is a Zionist through and through, just a liberal Zionist. So I will try to translate it from Hebrew. This is what he writes in Hebrew, okay? It's not what he writes in English. This is what he writes in Hebrew, okay? And I will translate it to English as best as I can. Great respect to the thousands of citizens of Gaza who came out to protest today against the war and against the regime of Hamas in Gaza. Despite the bombings of the Air Force, and despite the fact that they can be killed every single moment by us, people in Gaza are demanding a ceasefire and a normal life, demanding peace. Their slogans are explicitly against Hamas, for the stop of the war and for peace. Tomorrow, they plan to protest in 6 different places in Gaza. We send our support from the people of Israel who are also protesting against the war and for peace and against the people of Gaza, against their corrupt and murderous regime. This is the kind of thing that Alon Green writes about these protests, and he put like pictures of the protests. Okay,
he put he wants
and
to
he put a purple heart in the end, just so you understand. A purple heart. This is the way that Standing Together finishes their post.
Because it is like, that's the narrative, right? They have their corrupt government, we have our corrupt government, and people from both sides are protesting against their corrupted government.
Yes, and we just need to change the government of the Palestinians and change the government of Israel, and we need to have 2 governments for the 2 peoples that will manage the 2 states in the 2-state solution. And the solution will be that the Palestinians will just think that what they have is enough, and that the Jews will also think that what they have is enough, and we will have governments that want to work together and not do genocide to each other. Just the most both-siding that you can ever see, ever. Just complete both-siding. Okay, so maybe people can say at this point that I have a personal vendetta against Alon Green, and maybe it's just true that there is only enough space for one Alon between the river and the sea. But
we will invite you for a duel.
Yes, let's do a duel. But it's not about him. Okay, it's about what he represents, and this guy has a lot of power. He has hundreds of thousands of followers on social media. He has a lot of funding. Who knows from where? Who knows from where? I don't know where the funding for Standing Together is coming from, and he affects the narrative greatly. So we need to deconstruct the way that guys like him affect the narrative, and this is classical Zionist narrative, classical liberal Zionist narrative. Alon Ligrin is a liberal Zionist. This is what he is. He is nothing else. Okay, so this is one example, and you want to read the other example now without any names, because this is not, a public figure.
Yeah, we don't.
Ori is saying we're both protesting against our government. Togetherness. Yes, exactly. So the reason that we're reading to you this comment thread on Facebook is that you see how this works, how these dynamics and mechanisms work. Alon and Elik, how can we contact you? You can send us messages on Instagram. I will write the Instagram names, and you can also send emails. I will write our emails. So my email is hcanaanite@gmail.com. Elik's email is elikharpaz@gmail.com. My Instagram is roble_viajero. And Elik's Instagram is Elik_Harpaz, right?
Yeah.
Elik_Harpaz. That's on Instagram. So send us messages on Instagram. Email is best, because Instagram is just, it's too much. It's too much to follow. It's really hard. Okay. So you want to read the post? You want to translate it to... And this is... Okay, so let's explain who this guy is. This guy is a musician, and he is a liberal Zionist who pretends to be for peace. He's always for peace. Okay?
Yeah, and I had many arguments with him on Facebook before.
Yes, we had the main interaction that I had with him was that where he said, yes, I want to fight for a solution here with all my might. And I said, okay, come join the ODSI, look at the ODSI. And he was like, no, fuck this shit. So immediately, he didn't even look at it, okay?
Yeah, he said in this kind of state I will be a minority in a Muslim state, and I don't want.
So this is no go for me, right off the bat.
Yeah, with most of the people, it's just no-go. It's like, it's not that it could even be a discussion about something.
Yes, the vast majority of people
and the bloc and the stiffness of the bloc is with the nationalists and liberals. It's exactly the same unpenetratable bloc.
Yes, I would even say that the bloc is greater with liberal Zionists, because they have like this righteousness about them. Where it's like we're not doing it out of forcefulness or might makes right. We're doing this because of justice. Like, for justice we oppose equality. For justice we oppose freedom.
After, I want to say something positive, some hopeful experience that I had yesterday.
Okay,
I'll tell you, and just to have some...
We need a little bit of optimism.
Yeah. Okay, so he wrote, I recommend to follow the Ahmad Fouad al-Khatib that we talked about. The most peaceful voice, Palestinian peaceful voice and life-seeking that I found in the public discourse.
Already I need to say something. Look at how it works. Israel or the US or whatever Zionist organization literally pays a Palestinian to express a certain worldview. He might actually believe in this worldview, but he is being encouraged to express it publicly, and he gets resources to express it publicly. And then this liberal Zionist guy who is for peace immediately falls for this propaganda. The propaganda worked. Just 100% worked. For him, it's like, yes, wonderful. This is what I want.
Okay, so today his feed is full of documentations of Gazans protesting against Hamas and for peace and against Al Jazeera. A lot of them with white flags. He is claiming that it's tens of thousands, and in the Western media, they're making the numbers like less.
So he's saying that the Western media is lying. How are they lying? They are diminishing these protests. Interesting. But also, I found the concept of white flags interesting. What are white flags? What is a white flag? A white flag means, it doesn't mean peace. It means surrender. It means surrender.
Mm.
And this is just transparent in his like he just says they are waving white flags and this is good. But white flag is not a sign of peace. It's a sign of surrender.
Yeah. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's gonna be oppressed in a second, maybe not. But anyway, I don't know. Do we need to? Do you want to? We need to.
What?
Translate all these posts. You want to do it in your dramatic way? I'm not sure. Like,
I think it's really interesting to see the kind of thoughts that liberal Zionists have about this. I think it's really interesting to see how the propaganda actually operates on, because I think that the audience for this propaganda is not people. It's internal. Okay, it's internal. It's to say to liberal Zionists and to liberals all over the empire, this is what you should think. It's not outwardly. Okay, it's not to convince anyone of anything. It's just to take people who are already part of it and to keep them in the place that they are. This is the way that I think that this is working. So I think that the target of this propaganda is people like this guy, and therefore it's really important to see how he responds to this propaganda. So you don't want to continue reading? I don't know.
No, we could. We wanted a bit to get into the. I thought the comments were
right. The comments.
But yeah, so he's writing. Maybe the day is coming. I am old enough to see the Berlin Wall fall, and at Gorbachev declaring the perestroika, the opening of. Maybe it looks like it's forever, but maybe it collapsed. And it also feel like I also have sometimes the thought maybe it collapsed when I think about the collapse of Zionism.
Yes, and for him the collapse of Hamas.
Then Hamas will fall and we can finally make peace, and they accept the state of Israel. What they want is acceptance of the state of Israel with exactly the same fundamental principles of apartheid and ethnic segregation, but without the expansionist part, right? That's what the liberal Zionists want. Like, we can give up, and I think this is the lie, that it can be not expansionist, that Israel can be a not expansionist state. It's not part of the DNA of this state. And then he's showing this video, which I must say, this guy also touched me a bit, to saying like, you know, when you see all the kids and people saying we don't want war anymore.
And I'm sorry for being cynical, but I cannot exclude the possibility that this guy is also a shill of Israel. This guy speaking. There is a guy, older Palestinian guy, who is obviously a Gazan, who is like heading these protests, and he's saying, "Stop the destruction, stop the war. We want to live," which is, you know, of course, everyone should agree with this message. He's not saying anything specific against Hamas, right?
Here, yeah.
No, he's not saying anything specific against Hamas. I haven't seen direct evidence that these protests were actually against Hamas. I haven't seen any direct evidence.
But you see that there is no Palestinian flag there, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
what if you find that? What if you found out that these protests were actually physically organized by Israel? What if you find this? What if you found this out?
Can be?
Maybe. I think there's a good chance. I personally think that I have no evidence for this, but we have no evidence for anything.
Yeah, we see it's weird that there is even not one Palestinian flag. Like, to me, it's a bit. But people wrote like, "Wow, I have shivers in my body."
Yeah, these are all comments from liberal Zionists. Yeah. Okay, I have goosebumps. I have goosebumps.
Yeah.
Another one.
Thank you so much for this sharing. It gave me so much hope. Now I have some hope.
Yes, it was missing to me.
Now, yeah, I've wrote something that is a bit like she said. Yeah, but also if they don't demonstrate for peace, you are not supposed to kill them.
Yes.
And then he answered her.
Yeah, and I think his answer to a challenge, okay?
It's a friend of us. You say that, anyway, I said name, never mind. But she wrote him, look, even if they wouldn't protest peace, it doesn't justify genocide, right?
Yes.
And then he wrote like,
so look how he responds to an actual challenge, okay? Okay, but your premise is that they deserve not to be killed only if they support peace, which we will analyze. What does peace mean to this guy?
Yeah.
But look at his response to
what
this challenge, this very mild challenge.
And it's exactly this lack of awareness of like, okay, so what does it say about you? Like, you're saying, I support mass killing. I will object to it only if the people will raise flags and say we love you, white flags, and say we love you. And so you want peace? This what you called wanting peace? I think like a condition for declaring you want peace is to object killing, that your government kills, and then you can say I'm against war. Like, even if you're just a liberal, like you claim to be, understand?
Yes.
What I mean? Yes. Like, if nothing in the last year didn't make you just shout, stop it, doesn't matter. I don't care. They're what they want or what they don't want. Just this is something you don't do. You cannot claim about yourself that you want peace. Like, to want peace is, the way I see it, is more than just.
Everybody wants peace in the way that if their conditions are met, then they will not want to kill anymore. But this is not wanting peace. If my conditions are, I want peace. If you agree to be my slave, then I will not kill you. I want peace. I want peace. Oh, you don't agree to be my slave? Bam. That's peaceful? No, it's not peaceful. It's not. It's just not. But I just want to say, I would challenge this guy if I wrote a comment on his post, which I am not going to do because it's not going to be helpful in any way. I would challenge him like 10 times more aggressively than the challenge that he got here. But the challenge that he got here was already enough to expose all that he thinks. So let's read what he answered to this challenge.
I would prefer. So she told him, it doesn't. Nobody need to be killed and starved and whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if they support Hamas or don't support Hamas. Yeah. Don't kill them.
Yeah. So he said, I would prefer that nobody would be bombed. And by the way, he has songs that says no bombs to kill them all. And then once we were arguing, I just quoted for him his song.
Yes.
He said, I would prefer that nobody would be bombed, starved. Maybe I just gave up his personality now. Maybe they shouldn't.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. I would be bombed, starved, kidnapped. Anyway, I hope it will be soon that nobody would be starved. But I don't know what I would do if I was in the leadership position in this time, in this period of the Jewish nation. Would I give up to Hamas and let him stay there, to tell the guys from the kibbutzes who got attacked, go back to your homes and the Hamas is in the other side of the border planning to do it again, without giving them some, how do you say,
guarantee,
some guarantee, some
security.
Yeah.
Like he's saying, basically what he's saying is that we had to do it. We had to do it because Hamas is dangerous, and we have to destroy Hamas.
Yeah, and it's okay. And the life of the kibbutzim, and then it's so important that they could go back to live there, that safely, that it's okay to kill like hundreds of thousands of people. Like their life is so much more important than the lives of the people on the other side of the world.
And therefore we had to do
that. You are occupying, so you are responsible to their life,
But he presents it as like this, this moral dilemma. What if I were the prime minister of Israel? What would I do in the face of this horrible dilemma? Should I commit a genocide on the Palestinians in Gaza, or should I tell the people who live in the kibbutzes that they will not be safe anymore? Oh my God, what will I decide? What will I decide? This is the way that he presents it.
Yeah.
Or
I would just bomb Hamas and bomb everyone around it, including
so this is a possibility.
Including innocents, including hostages, that they are, and just say kind of fuck it. I don't know what I would do. Like it's a dilemma, and I don't know what I would do. But and then he says, like I wrote you in other posts, I wouldn't
judge, I don't know.
My people.
Sentence.
I wouldn't sentence my people for just wanting to live on their land and an historical homeland in peace and security. And I hope
the historical homeland that everybody agrees that it is the historical homeland for generations. Everybody agrees. He says the entire world knows that Israel is the historical homeland of the Jewish people. This is what he says very explicitly.
Yeah.
And he says also, I know what I am doing. I don't know what I would do, but I know what I am doing. What I am doing is to seek for peace, and to seek for peace with the ones who seek peace with me.
Right.
With the collaborators, with people who are willing to collaborate with me to achieve the peace that I want. This is what he is seeking.
Yeah, and to me, I think what bothers me also in this way of looking, and I think I was part of it in a way that...
Yeah, me too.
That killing is justified, that until you don't find... let's say I would be still a liberal Zionist, okay? And I would think that the right solution is two-state solution. But still, if your position is, until I find someone who agree with me, I am allowed to kill as much as I want. And not, like, you need to set your values first. You need to say, first of all, I don't kill innocents. And then I'm trying to find people who I can talk to. Like, that's the order of things. It's not like I kill...
You're saying even if you're a liberal.
Even if you're a liberal.
Yes.
But if you would go through this logic, you wouldn't be a liberal, because you would think, first I should have not commit ethnic cleansing at the first place. First I shouldn't occupy. Like you would think, you would consider morality as a first thing first, and then, but but if you don't go from a point of view of looking at people as equals, so this is the weird assumptions that you arrive at. Like, yeah, I want peace. Let's do one of the most horrific assaults on history, destroy, bomb, shell everyone around, and then and say that's fine. And when I find someone who says, okay, stop it, I'm surrendering, I say, okay, now
this is a partner.
This is a partner.
Yes. I think it's worth saying this explicitly, that this is a point of view of supremacy. Okay?
Yeah.
Of supremacy. This guy thinks that he is more important than Palestinians. He thinks that Jews are more important than Palestinians. He thinks that white people are more important than brown people. That's the way that he thinks. And this is the only way that you can arrive at these kinds of conclusions, because the way that he thinks is, I decide what's going on here. The extended I, that is, the Jewish people and Israel and the West.
Mhm.
I decide what happens. If you agree to my terms, then okay. This is also a lie, but never mind.
Yeah.
If you agree, then okay, I will give you the crumbs that you agreed to. But if you do not agree, then you will get nothing. So I will put the ones below me in a situation where they have to agree to continue being below me. And if they do not agree to continue to being below me, then I will crush them and destroy them. This is a point of view of supremacy, just pure supremacy.
Yeah, because from the get-go, he taking out of the table the option of just living in equality.
Mm-hmm.
This is
which
not
he
an
did,
option.
which he did when we offered it.
Yeah, because no one tells you don't live here, and you're allowed to feel that this is your holy land from 2000 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and that you have a special connection. Fine, that's bullshit, but I don't care if you feel it. Like, I don't believe in this Bible myth, but if someone want to feel like we're Jews, we're connected to the land, and we have a place here, fine, you are allowed to feel that way. Just don't take the homes of other people and live with the people who were here before you in the recent history, right? Like, that's, and I thinking, yeah, that's the problem. That's the like the only peace that will be real peace if he would accept Palestinians not as people who are locked in that ghetto on the other side of the wall, but as neighbors that maybe like that. And that's what I wanted to the experience I had yesterday, because I performed in a place in Jaffa, and there was a cafe down, and I don't know if it was organized by the municipality or not,
Okay.
but it was kind of a Palestinian cafe, like downstairs.
So in Jaffa.
In Jaffa.
Okay.
But it wasn't just Palestinians there. It was also some like Israelis, and I saw people like with water.
So Palestinians with Israeli citizenship who live in Jaffa, who still live in Jaffa.
Yeah, but like the main language that was spoken was Arabic.
Oh, okay.
And I was there, and we were sitting, and like around us were just like Palestinians, and there was a thing of like playing taki and cards, and they were speaking.
So you performed there? You did
I performed some place upstairs, but when we went down, we were sitting a bit in this place.
And who was the audience? The audience was also Palestinian?
No,
okay.
It was...
okay, interesting.
But I kind of felt like, that what would it feel like in a free Palestine? We us are not going to be the majority. We would feel, but it will be normal. It was just people, but we will have to kind of deal with it. And
like we would have to learn Arabic, which we
and then it would be fine. We would speak with but this is what scares Israelis, is not to feel the owners of the place and to feel this a bit like this confident of like, you're not now the owner and you're not the main guy. Your Hebrew is a second language. Like, you have to give up this kind of superiority thing.
Yes.
And that's a real peace. Like, if you want a real peace, you need to agree to be in many situations where you don't feel super comfortable, but but that's what you have to agree to if you want here the violence to stop. And I feel like, and this is like, and I felt like for a second that that's like how it's going to feel like in the free Palestine. It's just going to be.
And did you talk to the people in the cafe?
not really. I was embarrassed,
You were embarrassed.
and it showed me my hypocrisy a little bit. That like, okay, that's how it looks like. Now go learn, go talk, try to speak Arabic, but I don't speak, And I thought like,
this is the language barrier is
maybe
something serious. It's something. It's really hard.
yeah. And I wanted, but I felt no hostility, and I felt that if I would speak, and there were tables who were mixed, and I felt like, yeah.
So why didn't you? I
don't know. I was.
You want to go there sometime and speak to people there?
Yeah, I think it's a good
I think
idea.
it's a good idea to just go to. I think the next stage of our process should be connecting with actual Palestinians who actually live here more.
Yeah.
And this is something. It's really hard, okay, guys. It's really hard. We don't know Arabic. I'm trying to learn. I've been learning for like 3-4 months.
But it wouldn't start if you don't find people to talk to and exercise it.
Yes. So I don't know if you're Palestinian and you live inside occupied Palestine, anywhere inside occupied Palestine, if it's the West Bank or 48 lines, not in Gaza, because we cannot physically go to Gaza. It's just impossible for us to physically go to Gaza. We will be stopped or shot. I don't know what exactly will happen, but I don't think it's a possibility for us to actually go to Gaza. But if you are a Palestinian who lives in places that we can go in occupied Palestine, whether it's the West Bank or 48 inside 48 lines, please contact us. Please contact us. We want to have more friends, more Palestinian friends here, because we believe that this is the start of a true process of peace. And this brings me to a question that has been hovering in my mind in the last, 15, 20 minutes. Are we also like this guy? Do we also only search for the allies that agree with what we consider to be peace? And are we also hypocritical in this way? What do you think?
I think it's different when. I think like it's different when what you say is that what you demand is full equality, right? That's that's what makes the difference.
But is equality the same as peace? You like this guy, he uses this appropriated term called peace to kind of justify continuing in the way that he life in the way that he lives it, without giving up anything, without changing his life in any significant way. Are we kind of subtly doing the same thing? More subtly, but still doing the same kind of thing.
Because we're finding Palestinians who reassure our existence and don't say, for example, you should all go to your home countries, or only that full liberation cannot happen when there's still settlers on the land, for example.
Yes.
I don't know. Sometimes I'm asking myself that, and in its approach that I met, but I don't know. And this, I feel like, in the context of the reality, it's very hard, because most of the Israelis are Zionists. So most of people, like Palestinians, say we want them out. It's kind of saying, but because they are the Zionists, and the amount of anti-Zionists are so small. So like, but I don't know. What do you think about it?
I will say the arguments for why we are different. I will say ways that we are different. It's not just arguments. I think that we are different in many major ways. The only question is, does this make us inherently different or fundamentally different? So one difference is what you said, that we demand equality and justice for everyone. We don't put conditions on equality and justice. And I think another big difference is that we truly listen to Palestinians as much as we can. It's hard because there are barriers, language barriers, and physical barriers, and barriers of consciousness and culture. But as much as we can, we try hard to listen to what Palestinians actually have to say. And another difference is, I think we are willing to learn and change. we are willing to, we're not just listening to say, oh, we listened, and now we're going to do or think whatever we want to do or think. We're listening to change our minds, to learn, and to actually achieve an actual solution to what's going on here. And I think that another difference is that we have basic principles that I think we can justify. When we say that we are anarchists, we are willing to have the discussion of why anarchism is the correct point of view, why this is the only way forward. And we're not going to just say, to just disqualify any objection. We're going to explain, and we do. Like, we have, I don't know how many dozens or hundreds of hours of content online already, where we explain to the best of our ability so far why what we are striving for is the correct thing to strive for, why the activism that we are doing is a correct form of activism, and we are willing to have the discussion, as opposed to other people like the guy that we read his post. He's not willing to have a discussion, because when we say ODSI, he says no.
Yeah,
just immediately.
Even...
No. And like, for example, if someone tells me all Jewish Israelis need to leave immediately, I will say no. But I will explain. That I don't want to leave, and that it's ridiculous, in my opinion, to ask me to actually. This is what this guy says. It's not fair to ask the Jews to give up their own interests for other people. But why does he say this? He says this to justify an actual genocide that is actually happening. Okay, he's not saying this to actually defend his life. His life is not in danger, not really.
But I saw someone write, I often feel like if I went through a tenth of what Palestinians went through, I wouldn't want to share a city country with an ex-Zionist or ex-IDF.
And this will be completely understandable. I say, if a Palestinian wants to kill me, I cannot blame them. I can only blame Zionism. If a Palestinian wants to kill me...
Ahmed is here. Hi, Ahmed.
Hi, Ahmed. How's it going?
It's nice to see you.
If a Palestinian wants me dead, then I will understand. Of course, I will not agree. Okay? Of course, I will not, like anyone, would not agree to being killed, right? But if a Palestinian wants me dead, I will understand why, and I will not blame them. I will blame Zionism. I will blame the Zionist project for bringing them to this point.
Yeah, I'm thinking about, my grandmother who didn't want to go back to live in Poland. Their solution with their perpetrators, and they said, we didn't want to live in Europe with the people who did this to us. But if there was true healing, they would have to go back there and learn to, and these people who did this would apologize and tell them, come here, we're going to make it up to you. That would be, we want you back, we're going to give you everything that we stole, we're sorry. That would be no go colonize somebody else's land. I think this situation that you think as a Palestinian, I wouldn't want to live with Israelis. It's true, and then it makes me think, how on earth this one state solution that we're talking about, and I think we need to do an episode that we talk about all the problems with it, because it's not how is it going to be that they're just gonna live together now in a one shared society? It looks
no. I think there needs to be a lot of deep processes of deprogramming, of healing. The people as they are now, their minds as they are now, they are not compatible to actually live in equality and justice in this place. No, even the people who are supposed, like my father, he will not be able to actually live with Palestinians in actual peace right now. No, not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. He needs to learn a lot. I think I can teach him. I think if you give me, if you remove the effects of the Zionist cult from my father, the material effects that give him incentives to keep his opinions, and you give him and you give me a few days with him to speak with him, just a few days where I can actually speak with him honestly without the effects of the cult, he will understand. I'm 100% sure of this. And I think your father will understand as well.
I think like people like us, that now we feel nobody listens to us in a situation where things are changed. And I think we need to prepare ourselves for that, like speaking good Arabic and be able to be this bridge.
Yes.
It's going to be a time when it will, but it's not
hopefully this is the optimistic scenario, right?
Let's be optimistic for
let's be optimistic.
I want for a moment to imagine the good scenario. Okay, we're dealing with there's the worst case scenario happening right now, and it could be changed to another worst case scenario.
I think it can become worse. I think people people believe that this is like the worst that it can be, but I think it can get worse.
It can get worse.
Things here can get worse.
I don't know, like a lot of time I'm thinking like they wouldn't be able to pull it through. They wouldn't be able to completely ethnically cleanse Gaza. It's not going to work. But in dark moments, sometimes I feel, what if they just go on and go on and go on and nobody stops them? Like nobody really stopped them now.
But we wanted to be optimistic.
So, okay. I don't know how it's going to be achieved, but there's a healing process that starts.
Mm-hmm.
There's recognition of right of return of the Palestinian, and by a process that is, let's say, regulated, and somehow they start coming back and they're getting their property.
Yes, tearing down all the walls.
Tearing down
all the physical walls. This is symbolic and pragmatic.
Yeah.
It's on all levels. It's really important. There are physical walls that have been built for a specific purpose, and this purpose is the continued subjugation, oppression, and segregation.
And all the country, it's like a project that done from the bottom up, of like circles of healing, of recognition.
Yes,
that people take responsibility about what they did.
That they understand what the history is, because most people here, just so you understand, there are 7 to 8 million Israeli Jews here between the river and the sea. And I think that the vast majority of them, maybe 99.9% of them, are completely unaware of the history of their own country, of their own society. They are unaware of the history. They do not understand what happened.
Yeah, and they learn, and they finally learn to hear what happened to the Palestinians and accept it, that there is, they look at them in the eye and they accept it, and there is a process of taking responsibility of all level, also by leaders, spiritual leaders, artists, like all levels of people who have influence do it. And we feel like, and there's acceptance that we're just here and we have to live with each other. And then how would society look like? The funny thing that I think if this process would be done of like true reconciliation, it will just become a normal society, right? People will just live. I don't think people have any desire to more than just to live.
This is the kind of message that liberal Zionists claim to say, that they just want to live in peace. We just want to live in peace. The thing with good lies is that they're usually based on truth. Okay, so you take the truth and you twist it a little bit. Okay, and the truth is, yes, it is the truth that most people just want to live in peace, that they just want to live their lives and go
so if that
do some work or create some have some time with their family, have some drinks with their friends, have good food with their friends, have some jokes. That's all people really want in the end. But the thing that liberal Zionists, the way that liberal Zionists use this fundamental truth is that they use it to justify the continued situation where they can't do it, where some people can do it, but others cannot.
I just want to say that soon I will have to start wrapping it up because I have this concert.
Yeah, maybe let's continue for a few more minutes and wrap it up.
Because. But anyway, maybe I thought that it's something we need to do, to start imagining it. I know it's kind of a hippie thing, hippie vibe, but just how would a free democratic Palestine that is completely post-national, anti-national, that accepts diversity and many groups in it, how will it look like? And to try to imagine the landscape, the cities, because maybe if we don't imagine it, like we're also failing in something. We're just in the depressing present.
I agree. I think first of all we can dedicate an episode or a couple of episodes of the One State Solution podcast to continuing to do this.
Yeah.
And maybe if we find that we have a lot to say about this, we can start a whole series of discussions about how a free Palestine will actually look, and maybe we can take it, wider to what a free world will actually look. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a very, very long time, to imagine what an actual anarchical society. And when I say anarchical, I mean veganarchist. I mean the anarchism that includes all of the planet Earth. Okay, and I want to imagine what this kind of society would look like, how life would look like, and in my mind, it's a dream, and it's a good dream. And I think if we take this dream and we try to specify like how it looks like in a very concrete way, I think that this is something that very few people actually do. I haven't seen anyone actually do this seriously, and maybe this is a project that we can really go into, and it can give us a lot of energy.
Maybe we can start from like Palestine. And
yes, and expand it, because I feel like the process that we're doing in Palestine can and should be a start of a process or part of a worldwide process of liberation for everyone. I think it cannot happen any other way. It's not a possibility that only Palestine will be free. The entire planet must be free for Palestine to be free, and Palestine must be free for the entire planet to be free. It's like I don't see a difference between these two things. People have been asking for music, and I want to tell you that in a couple of hours, Elik is going to perform in a cafe here in Haifa, and he's going to do some radical music, and we don't know exactly, we were talking before, what the plan could be, and there's no exact plan, but maybe you can practice.
Maybe it's a good idea to do.
So come bring the viola.
Yeah, and then I will have to take a break a bit I feel like I need to.
Yeah, and then we will finish after this. Okay, people are happy. I will answer a few questions before Elik brings the viola. I saw that there was someone from Lebanon here. I see. Much love from Lebanon. And much love back. It's amazing to me that we are so close physically, geographically, but yet so far, practically. So hi from occupied Palestine, and we wish the border between Israel, that is the colony occupying Palestine, and Lebanon, that is, I don't know what Lebanon exactly is, but it's a state, and we're against states in general. When it's just a land, Lebanon and Palestine, it's just a land, that there is no border, and we can just go freely between the two lands. There is a land called Lebanon, there is a land called Palestine, and we can travel freely, and I can go to Beirut, and the guy, Burkan, who commented in the chat, can come to Haifa, and we can have hummus here, and we can have tabbouleh there, and we can just be free together. So this is the dream. Okay, Elik, you want to come closer to the mic? bit.
Yeah, I don't know what song to do.
What song to do?
Should I do?
Any requests? Any requests? Or maybe just improvisation? Just improvisation, play your feelings and then take it wherever it goes. Unless we have specific requests. Do we have Bella Ciao?
I don't feel like doing Bella Ciao. No, people always ask me like Bella Ciao. I'm kind of tired of this song. Maybe one day.
Stairway. Stairway,
guys.
I
don't know. It's not like I'm not gonna play songs that just people ask.
Yeah, we might get copyright.
I need to
stricken.
yeah.
רק רוצה להגיד שאני ממש מעריך את הסרטונים והלייבים שאתם עושים. תודה רבה.
תודה.
האם אתה חי בפלסטין הכבושה? אם כן, שלח לנו הודעה בבקשה ונדבר. So it's very rare to see Hebrew written in our chat, so we use the opportunity to say some words in Hebrew. כן, בדרום. אלן, שלח לנו הודעה, נדבר. אם אתה מרגיש בנוח. Okay, so let's make sure that the microphone
I'm living the colony, I'm living. Mommy, don't be sad, I'm living the colony, I'm living. Daddy, I'm afraid. I'm living the colony, I'm living. Mommy, don't be sad, I'm living the colony, I'm living. And I am afraid. Oh, don't you cry, Mama. It wasn't your mistake, but you took something that wasn't for you to take. You grew me up in a bubble that felt so nice, childhood paradise, but now the veil is fallen and I see it clear. And I don't know if I want to stay here. I'm living the colony, I'm living. Mommy, don't be sad, I'm living the colony, I'm living. And I am afraid. Maybe one day I will be back in a free Palestine, and what's gone forever will be again mine. but now I can't feel here anymore at home. All my memories are distorted, I feel so alone. What has been a family turned to a death cult. Have something to add, say?
Born into a cult, born into a cult, born into a death cult, born into a cult, born into a cult. What will I do? What will I do if I was born into a cult? Free myself from the cult. Free my mind, free my mind. See reality, free my mind, free my mind, free my soul, free my body, free myself from the cult. Living is here. The cult is here. It's controlling me. It's controlling my family, controlling everyone, controlling my friends. Everyone I ever knew is part of the cult. What will I do when everyone I ever knew is part of the cult? Free myself, and then free the others from the cult. They will not listen, they will not listen, they will not listen, they will not listen. Are they lost? 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 Can we free this place? Can we free ourselves and everyone? And this place, can we?
I'm living the colony, I'm living. Molly, don't be sad, I'm living the colony. I don't well know where to go. Oh, can we free this place? Can we save someone but ourselves? I don't know.
People liked it. People liked it.
It's a beginning of a new song. I don't know. It was half improvised, but
all of Elik's songs, they start with the beginning.
Yeah.
And then they go in all kinds of weird directions.
Yeah.
And I must say, Elik, that for me, whenever I'm exposed to you playing, and it brings me to a different state of consciousness. It gives me a weird sense of hope. It gives me connection to something, and I want to do it more. I ask that you do it more. That's what I ask. You guys have to live this 24/7. Yes, we have to live this 24/7. Maybe we have to live this 24/7. Maybe that's what we have to do. Maybe that's what we have to
and
do.
I don't know, I started writing this, like it came and is it a goodbye song? Am I living? I don't know. Like I feel like we are already leaving the colony. I feel like the process of what we're doing here is already a process of leaving the colony. It's not physically leaving the colony, but I think that mentally and spiritually we are leaving the colony. This is why the thing that I had to say when you asked me what I had to say was about this process of freeing our minds and souls from the grasp. To me, it's like connection. This journey, it's also like detachment from my parents. I feel that's why talking to my mother, it's like you grew me up in this place, but sorry, but I don't feel you tried to make it home, but it's surrounded by death camps and ghettos, and it's a fake safety, you know. It's not a but I need to develop the it's a have a good chorus, and we need to.
There's another song about the colony. You want to do just the verse, just so people see the beginning of the song, and
it's a bit similar. It's kind of
it's kind of a part one to this song.
Okay, maybe I can do it on different scale.
Do you know the emblematic Palestinian song Lama? No, never heard of it. Maybe we should look it up after. Send us a link, please.
איזה כיף פה בקולוניה, משתכרים ושוכחים, בצבא השתחררנו, את הטראומה מדחיקים, עכשיו נוסעים שם למדבר, שם הבאסים חזקים. כן, נחמד פה בקולוניה, יש פה מלא כסף חברים, אנחנו נפגשים באיזה דום בפרדס חנה, צריך להמשיך, זמנו שמן קוראים לו חוזה, הוא מביא מהג'ונגל איזה שיקוי יפה, באדום שבנה לי אחמד מרמאללה, לה 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 לה, איזה כיף פה בקולוניה, איזה כיף פה בקולוניה, עושים סמים חברים, איזה כיף פה בקולוניה, עושים סמים ושוכחים, מהצבא כבר השתחררנו, את הדרום מדחיקים, עכשיו נוסעים על המדבר, שם הבאסים חזקים.
So the point is that they're going to do drugs and have fun in the colony, and they're going to a party in the desert. And what happens in the party in the desert? Well, you can guess. You can guess the menacing and dark ending for this song.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Elik is one of the most amazing songwriters on the planet. This is why his voice.
I always feel I'm not a good songwriter because I don't have a complete song. It's always then I have something and then I improvise the rest.
I think you're just a different songwriter than the kind of songwriters that the system really wants and supports, and this is why the system doesn't support you. But I think this is what makes you the best songwriter, because the system doesn't like you, and the system likes the worst songwriters, in my opinion.
Someone right, if I have an album, soon I want to release. Soon. 4 songs are almost ready.
4 songs.
4 songs, and then I'll do more.
Okay, guys. Thank you for being with us for so long, yet again. You certainly made me feel a little bit better. This discussion made me feel a little bit more focused, a little bit more, connected. Elik, final remarks before we close up this session.
Thank you guys for listening. It always brings me a bit energy to do this.
Yes.
Like a lot of time I tell you, like, what are we doing? We're just talking to a camera. It's there's nothing changes and oppression going on. But I think, like Ahmad told me this sentence from the Quran, that if you cannot stop injustice with your hands, try to stop it with your words. And if you cannot, I don't know exactly, you can write it. And if you cannot stop it with your words, stop it with your heart, like with prayer. So we're doing the words part.
Trying our best. Okay, guys. So thank you so much. Free Palestine, free the entire planet, free everyone, all living beings.
And wish me luck in the concert.
Yeah, good luck to Elik in the concert. This is a hostile environment, and he's going to do some radical songs even though the environment might be at the very least slightly hostile.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think it's a nice place, but toda.
We need to find a way to bring you together with the Palestinian singer and activist Levant. I've never heard of them. Yeah. We want collaborations with more Palestinian musicians, artists, anyone who is Palestinian and wants to collaborate with us against the Zionist regime and to free Palestine. We want to do it. Okay, guys. Bye-bye. Free Palestine. Free everyone. And have a great rest of your day.